Hello and welcome back to Potty Mouth, the show where the jokes are dirty and our minds are dirtier. I'm Aaron, this is Blake.
How you doing?
And today on the Potty Cast, a little more of a serious topic today. We're kind of going to go into, actually we're not kind of, we are going into talking about cheating. Being cheated on and doing the cheating. Being the cheaty and the cheater.
Yep.
Blake doesn't have experience with the cheater part, but that's kind of where I come in, unfortunately. And he's been cheated on in just about every relationship he's ever been in. So we're going to have plenty to talk about today.
Oh, yeah.
On the show. It's going to get pretty deep and serious. So this may not be the most fun episode. We're going to try to keep it light, as we always do. But it could get deep. So no pun intended. Yeah. So with that being said, we're just going to kind of jump right into it as far as getting into the cheating aspect. I think we'll start off with getting cheated on first, get that perspective of it, probably because it's the lighter side of things.
Sure. And
then diving into the psyche behind cheating and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So, Blake, how many times do you think this is okay? Yeah, it's gonna get. I know my first question, and it's about to get really real. So we're gonna just. I'm trying not to keep it from going too dark, but it's gonna get really dark.
Okay.
So I know you were ready for it, and I was ready for it, but yeah. Anyway, you know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna go right into it. So, Blake, how many times have you been cheated on?
Let's see.
I mean, how many relationships have you been in total?
Man. So I've been cheated on. I would say I'm trying to count all the relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I say relationships, but it's more of like, excuse me.
You're good.
Yeah, is that good? So I would say relationships, but like, my longest has been 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
We talked about that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It's like all of them have been like maybe a couple months or something like that.
That's fine. That's still a relationship.
Yeah. So, counting one that's been a month or more,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say right around 20 or so.
You've been cheated on 20 times?
Well, 20 relationships.
That's what I mean.
20
relationships. Out of those 20 relationships.
Out of those 20 relationships, sorry.
You're good.
So, out of those 20 relationships, I've been cheated on probably about, if my math is right, about 16 out of the 20.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What?
Which is probably the reason why a lot of them just lasted about a month or two.
Yeah. Damn.
A lot of them weren't serious, but still.
But you were going steady. Like you agreed to go steady.
Yeah.
And then they just cheated on you.
Yeah. Who knows? They could have been with that guy while being with me. Who knows? Maybe they were cheating on them with me. I don't know, but either way.
Either way, yeah. Oh my gosh. That's way more than I thought.
Really?
Yeah, I thought you'd like been in 20 relationships and maybe been cheated on like 10 times. Like 50%. You're like over 50%. You're like 75% of the relationships.
Say like well over 50. Yeah.
Wait, was your last girlfriend? She didn't cheat on you.
No, she didn't cheat on me.
Yeah. But she had too much trust issues not to. Oop, sorry. Anyway, sorry.
We can cut that part out.
Yeah.
We can cut that part out.
We'll cut that. You think she'll watch it?
I'm not taking chances.
Fair enough. There was some issues there that just need to be, and partly for this reason, partly for being either in a relationship. A lot of the reason that women have trust issues is because they were either abused in a previous relationship, they were cheated on,
yeah,
and just like a guy treated them poorly, and that's usually why. Not saying that was a bad thing. I'm just saying that like there was a lot of issues with a lot of relationships because of, unfortunately, cheating.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I mean, like, that's just a part of life. It really is. Yeah. I mean, people are going to cheat on whether it's in a relationship or, you know, something else. Mm-hmm. You know, someone's going to do you wrong. That's just life.
Right.
It's how you overcome it, and it's how you actually I don't know, how you deal with it, really.
Right.
You know, it's like if you deal in the wrong way, it's kind of like how I did for a certain amount of time.
What do you mean?
So I went through a pretty dark phase after my 2-year relationship, and that one's probably the one that hit me pretty hard.
Okay.
It took me a while to get over that one. However, you know, I'd still try to get on dates and stuff like that. But as a lot of you guys know, I'm not really one to hit it and quit it sort of deal.
It's true.
But what I didn't realize at the time is that if you go into a relationship broken, then there's no chance for that relationship, no matter how compatible you guys really are.
Oh, yeah. You've got to love yourself and be confident in yourself before you can ever be in a relationship with anybody else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, that your partner is also going to be the same way.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
If one person's, in a nutshell, if one person's complete, they know themselves, they love themselves, they're confident in everything they're doing, they understand everything, you know, like they forgave the past, they can move forward, and that other person is not on the same level,
right?
It'll never work.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Not saying they can't work in the future,
right?
But at that certain period of time, no way.
Well, okay. Actually, you know what? We're just going to dive into this. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be awkward, but it's a good lesson to learn from this and teach these people and that are listening and watching.
Well, nothing new there with the uncomfortable.
Yeah, but this is going to get really uncomfortable really quick.
Right.
So take a drink because he has alcohol on that.
In this one, I do. Yes.
So, you use a relationship where cheating wasn't in play, and why that didn't work out. And so I'm not going to use names or anything like that because that's not necessary to teach the point.
Right.
But where being on the same page really constituted is the relationship that you were in, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to go like say when or who or whatever, but there were some issues in that relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of issues really that were surface level, but also behind the scenes due to previous relationships. Really, you started a relationship that was doomed for failure.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't get over something that had happened in the past.
Sure.
And you guys had went through counseling. I believe, did you guys go through counseling? Because I think she asked you to go through counseling just to try to work it out.
I actually tried to do in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So I initially talked about couples counseling, and it kind of just got brushed off for a little bit.
Right.
And then after a bit, like she agreed to it and everything like that. So yeah, we did that for a little bit because I wanted to try every aspect beforehand.
Sure.
Because I did love her and everything like that. It's just at the end of the day, it wasn't working out.
Sure.
Not saying it couldn't work out like later on down the road,
but the way it currently was, not sorry to cut you off,
Yeah.
but the way that it currently was, and the situation that you were both currently in your personal lives, as individuals, as well as in the relationship, you weren't connecting. There was something that you were off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like, yeah, there's still stuff I'm going through.
Sure.
You know, just like anybody, you know, it's like no one's ever not going to be going through something.
It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
No one person is ever at fault for a relationship not working out. There's two sides.
Oh,
Definitely. Even in cheating, and that's going to be a very touchy subject, but we're going to get there. Even in cheating, it takes two to tango. There's two sides to every story.
Yep.
So we're going to get it there. But more specifically, the reason, a big reason why you guys had a lot of trouble, and I'm not saying this because I don't know. I knew Blake and his partner relatively well for the short amount of time that they were together. And I guess I shouldn't say short. It was a little over a year, wasn't it?
Close.
Yeah,
Pretty close.
so almost a year, or a little over, whatever. So, so the time that I got to know them, she had confided in me a couple times, and then we always talk. So you're not missing much there. But there was a lot of trust issues, and not because of something that you did. It wasn't trust issues that you had ever kind of brought to the table. It was trust issues that she had from previous relationships.
Yeah.
And that I think that just really crippled it.
Yeah.
But once again, that wasn't because of something Blake did. And I'm going back to your point where you said you need to be on the same page. You have to be on the same page going into a relationship or it won't work out.
Definitely.
And so that was a huge, I think, hindrance on the relationship. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that played a pretty big role.
Yeah, I mean, and there's several other things, I'm sure I didn't hit her love language just like she probably didn't hit mine from time to time.
Sure.
And, it's like, for one thing, guys, I would highly recommend for anybody who's trying to figure out the whole dating role, or who knows, maybe if you're having trouble in a relationship or marriage, 5 love languages, beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, you can learn so much. And just like if you want to make more friends or you want to connect with people a lot better, dude, it's like the 5 love languages is fantastic.
What is it?
It's called the 5 love languages.
No, I mean, what is it? Is it a book or a...
I mean, there is a book out for it. You can actually go online and actually take some quizzes on it. So I did that. It's actually pretty interesting. So once you go on there, you just read the captions of it, and it explains every single love language to it. So one would be like physical touch,
right?
Words of affirmation, gifts, like receiving gifts,
right?
Giving gifts, all that kind of stuff. Or quality time.
Fair.
Right? So they always talk about if you hit those certain love languages, right? Because let's say, for instance, if you were quality time, let's just say that your love language or your highest one is quality time.
Oh, for what you need to be fulfilled. Yeah.
But let's just say, for instance, that your wife's working all the time, right? But she's one of those people that loves to give gifts.
Right.
Right. So when she comes home, even if it's late, she thinks that, all right, well, I'm going to buy him this and give it to him, or I'm going to surprise him with this. It's like, yeah, it's all grand and like there's...
But it's not what you need.
Yeah, there's good meaning behind it, but it's only going to last for so long.
Right.
Where you could do the little things as in, hey, let's just have time apart from, let's just space time for just us. And you'd probably be overjoyed for it. And it could be something that small.
Sure.
It's crazy how it works.
It charges you up and brings you down in all kinds of different ways. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that that your previous relationships and being cheated on has affected the way you go into relationships?
Used to.
Okay.
Used to. I've learned a lot from my relationships, and actually, I thank God every day for it.
Good.
Even though it took me a long time to get there.
Yeah. Well, I imagine you probably went in cautious. Like sometimes. Incredibly cautious.
Yeah,
at least used to.
Yeah, sometimes I would come in very guarded, not really expressing a lot about myself, or I would hide my feelings a lot.
You still do that.
I do from time to time.
You talk about if you have a problem, but you kind of keep your emotions covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not afraid to address something if it's really an issue.
Right, but other than that, you're kind of like, it's for me and my personal, like, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm working on that. But
no, you're good. I don't care.
Yeah. It's like, that's kind of something like, I'm working on, but I also choose, like, I feel like there's a right time for everything.
Sure.
And I'm not one of those that's going to, like, once I have a problem with something, I'm going to go straight into it and be like, no. Right? It's
right.
Like, there's a time and a place for it.
Do you find it hard to open up to people?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It just depends on who it is.
Sure.
Quite honestly, if I can't open up to you, you're probably not going to be around for very long.
That makes sense. Yeah. Were you able to open up in your previous relationship, or was that kind of an issue, or?
No, I mean, that's actually one of the big things for me when we first started dating.
Is that you were able to open up?
Yeah, I felt very comfortable around her, everything like that. Like, she, in all honesty, like, she was wonderful. She really was. It's like, but I had issues just like she did, and it got to a certain point to where one party was, it's like we both felt like we were overdoing it, or like from time to time, I would feel like she wasn't giving enough effort, and then she would tell me like I wasn't giving enough effort, when I felt like I was giving a lot more,
Right.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just where we weren't hitting each other's love languages,
Right.
and there's a lot more that goes into it, obviously. But in all rationality, you know, it's like there's things, if you cannot get over your past. I said that wrong.
Yeah,
That's okay.
in all actuality.
Actuality.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
Actuality. I got my education. But in all actuality,
There you go.
there it is. When it comes down to, I mean, if you're not able to forgive your past, you'll never be able to move forward.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Well, and so I guess I'm trying to hit home, because I'm not trying to throw any of your relationships under the bus, but since the topic is cheating, and I might be wrong, but the reason that the trust issues were there is because she was in a relationship where she was treated poorly and then cheated on.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what led into that,
yeah.
a lot of those issues.
Oh, yeah.
And so I guess the biggest part is I'm trying to dive into, from her perspective, because I'm trying to say it to where I don't throw under the bus, but I'm just going to have to say it because I don't want to. We're being real. This is the show. We're getting very serious in this episode. So in all honesty, and I want you to be unbiased. Did that cause a big issue in the relationship? And if it didn't, it's fine. But what kind of issue? What kind of role did that problem, that past, play in your relationship as far as you moving forward in the relationship?
I think I would have to say it did cause a huge issue when it comes to it, because, I mean, if you haven't been working on yourself to get over the past,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to affect every relationship at one point or another.
Sure.
It's not saying that any person's good or bad.
Right.
It's not saying anything like that. It's just the fact that they haven't been able to get over that part.
Mm-hmm.
And it was clear to tell.
Yeah.
There's some things that it took me forever to get over.
Sure.
It could be the smallest little thing, but for some reason, it just lingered.
It stuck with you a little bit longer. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, she's not at fault for it.
No, it's something that happened to her. She's the victim of that instance.
Yeah, and
But you can't like project that.
No,
and you have to be like you've been talking about. You have to self-help. You have to heal yourself. You have to move forward because it's not fair. It's definitely not fair at all to bring that pain and that past into a new relationship and then judge your new partner based on a previous relationship.
Exactly.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fair to you. But I'm sure there are things that you did that weren't fair to her. But
definitely.
But not really in the cheating aspect. We can go into that in a later episode. But I'm just trying to get trying to stay on top.
I got you. Rabbit holes.
We are really bad about that. But like it really does. It hinders a lot of relationships. Not just yours specifically. It hinders a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
Which is why we're about to kind of dive into mine. Because I have a really messed up past where I was the cheater, got cheated on, and it was a whole fucked up situation. So, but you really can't take it into a new relationship. You can't because it'll never work out.
Yeah, so. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I was gonna say something. I was like, no,
it's fine.
So let me ask you this. I mean.
Sure.
Yes, it's like I've never cheated or anything like that. Mm-hmm. However, but you mentioned that you said that you've been the cheater.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you don't mind me asking,
sure. Good. That's kind of what this is about.
So since we are on that topic and everything, so what happened?
Okay. So that's a broad question. All right, we're gonna break this stuff down. So I was 18. I was 18.
Okay.
I was 18. I was just about to graduate high school, and I was dating this girl, and I had been with her since my freshman year of high school.
Dang.
Yeah. So we've been together a long freaking time. Actually, we got together March 14th.
Jeez.
It's weird that I know that, but yeah. So we got together. Our anniversary was like March 14th.
Okay. It's crazy some of the things that you can remember.
Yeah.
Really
well, I mean, she was important. She was a big part of my life and a very important part of my life.
Sure.
So
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So anyway, so we graduated, or I was about to graduate, And I had, oh, this is so bad. Okay. So, because I don't think this person knows the full story either. So she's watching this for some reason. She's about to know the full story, and no one knows the full story.
Hey,
so,
you never know. That could bring clarity to her.
Maybe. Probably not. Because there's more. It's really bad, dude. It's really bad.
That bad?
It's bad.
Okay.
Okay, so I was dating this girl, and I went to Pizza Hut one night with my family, and there was this waitress who, like, she was like the manager there.
Okay.
So she's kind of doing it all because they were short-staffed. And I just met her, and we were just kind of talking. And then I came back, I think later that same week, and because I ordered takeout, and I asked her if she wanted to see a magic trick. I was flirting with her. I was on purpose flirting with her while I was in a relationship with this other girl.
Okay.
We're just going to call this other girl Erica, my first girlfriend.
Okay.
So the really important girlfriend's name was Erica. Not her real name, just her name. Okay. So I had met this girl at Pizza Hut. We're going to call her Elizabeth. We're just going to stick with all E's.
Okay.
Okay. So Erica and Elizabeth. Okay. So Elizabeth was working at the Pizza Hut, and we were talking, and I was flirting with her with a magic trick. And I friended her she friended me on Facebook, and we started talking a lot about like going on a date or hooking up or whatever. And so one night, I asked her if she wants to go walk around campus, and we do. And so it was the date. I knew it was a date. I had all intentions of going there and sleeping with her.
Okay.
So I went to the campus. We walked around. She asked me if I wanted to go back to her place, and we did. And me and Elizabeth hooked up that night.
Okay.
So I cheated on Erica, and so then I began a secret. Elizabeth became my side chick, essentially. That's the easiest way to explain it.
And Elizabeth had no idea.
Erica had no idea.
But Elizabeth didn't have any idea that you were already in a relationship?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes. So Elizabeth didn't know I was in a relationship. Erica didn't know I was sleeping with this girl. So it was like a double life scenario.
Gotcha.
And Elizabeth was the side chick. So then 2 months later, me and Elizabeth had been hooking up probably once a week at this point. We'd hang out once a week and we'd hook up. So then 2 months pass, and I tell Elizabeth about Erica because it's getting hard to hide, and one of them is going to find out, so I just kind of break the news to Elizabeth. Well, Elizabeth likes me at this point and wants to continue this relationship. So now she wants to be in a relationship with me while I'm also in a relationship with Erica. So I'm like, well, I'm not sure if I'm ready. Like, I don't really want another relationship. I just wanted like some action on the side. Like, wasn't really looking for all this. And so Elizabeth gets it in her head where she thinks that if she proves herself to me, then I'll leave Erica for Elizabeth.
Okay.
So now I have one girl that's actually fighting for me and another girl that has no clue what's happening. It's completely, she was completely oblivious to the whole thing. Not because she's dumb, just because I was really good at hiding it.
Sure.
I had a schedule. I was about to graduate, so it was like I had a routine that Erica knew about, that Elizabeth knew about, but it was like worked out that way.
Sure.
So 3 more months pass, and Elizabeth is getting anxious because she wants to date me. It's been 5 months, and she's like, I'm just tired of, like, I don't want to wait forever. Are you gonna choose me or Erica? I don't care. Just pick one. Like, don't leave me hanging on this rope. Like, I either want you or you're gonna go with her, and that's how it's gonna be.
Sure.
So I said, just give me a month, one more month, and I'll decide. And so Elizabeth was a little bit older. And by a little bit older, I mean a lot older than my girlfriend, Erica. And so I knew that Elizabeth was looking for a very serious and committed relationship. And I got panicked. I was this 18-year-old who was in a 3-year relationship, And now I'm going from that to I had a side chick, but now she wants to be in a full-on committed relationship.
Right.
So now I'm panicked, not defending my actions at all. I was a shit person. I made a shitty mistake, and I should have owned up to my mistakes. I shouldn't even have cheated on Erica. I should have broke up with Erica and went with Elizabeth. I know what I should have done, but I didn't do that. So I'm not condoning cheating at all, but this is what happened because I was an 18-year-old and a dumbass. So,
well, in all honesty, you know, it's like we're still maturing at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
So there's a lot of dumbasses.
Yeah, I was a dumbass. I still am, but I was a big dumbass then.
Okay.
So anyway, so
sorry.
No, you're good. So a month passes and I break up with Erica. And so I told her, I'm like, you know what? I care about you, but I don't have the feelings for you the way I did. And we just need to, because I didn't. I mean, I loved her, but I didn't love her in that respect. I was like, I can't continue to put you through. And I knew in my head, I'm like, I can't continue to put you through this without you even knowing. And so I broke up with Erica. Erica had no idea that I was with Elizabeth. Still doesn't have any idea that I was with Elizabeth. Okay. So then like 2 weeks pass and Erica wants to talk. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So we get back together 2 weeks later. So me and Erica are back together. Elizabeth now has no idea that I am back with Erica.
Oh, shoot.
So now I'm back in a double situation where I'm in a relationship with Elizabeth, but I'm also in a relationship with Erica 2 weeks later that Elizabeth does not know about.
Okay.
It's bad. That's what I'm saying. Pick another E name.
Emily.
Okay. So then 2 weeks after that, so it's like a month later, me and Erica are together, me and Elizabeth are together. Neither of them know that I am in a relationship with both of them. And Elizabeth invites me to her family's Christmas. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go to her family's Christmas. And her family got me like a gift and everything. Oh, I feel so bad about saying this. So her family got me some stuff and still had no idea that I was with Erica. Even Elizabeth didn't know. And so that night, I told Elizabeth, because Elizabeth drove. So I said I had to make a stop, and then you can just go home and I'll meet you tomorrow, whatever. So I get dropped off at an apartment, and I walk upstairs, and Elizabeth leaves, and knock on the door, and Emily answers the door. Emily is this girl that I met a little bit back, and we had just kind of talked off and on. It wasn't like a big serious thing.
Sure.
And so I went inside and that night, and I was stressed about everything in my life going on. I was stressed about graduating and going to college and being in 2 relationships when I didn't even really want to be in one. And so that night, me and Emily hooked up.
I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah. So I don't know if that happens a lot, but it happened. So basically I cheated on Elizabeth and Erica with Emily. And neither of them knew. So then, me and Emily start talking a lot more. And 4 days later, I ghost Erica and Elizabeth.
Just like that.
Just done talking to them completely. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then Elizabeth finds out that I am now dating Emily through Facebook. And Erica finds out that I'm dating Emily through Facebook.
Oh, shoot.
So now 2 of these girls found out that I was dating somebody else, but neither of them knew about the other. So Elizabeth didn't know about Erica. Erica didn't know about Elizabeth. And they both know about Emily. So Erica thinks that that's the first time I cheated. So Erica thinks that my first time cheating on her was with Emily, not with Elizabeth.
Okay.
Elizabeth knew about Erica, but didn't know I was with her. And so now Emily was my girlfriend. So Elizabeth starts calling me and texting me and saying, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you just tell me, like, be a man, just talk to me? Like, I don't care. I get it. All right. I get that you're not ready for a serious relationship, but you should have just told me.
Right.
Very mature. Well, she's older. She's very, very mature about it. Like she just said, you're being a child. Like, just talk to me and we'll move along and I'll move on with my life. But just like, don't
She needed that closure.
Yeah, like, talk to me.
Right.
Be a fucking adult, is what she said. She's like, she texted me. She's like, be a fucking adult. Like, just text me or call me and tell me why, and then I'll move on with my fucking life. But this is not okay. You just ghosting me like this.
Right.
So, like, she would text me, and I would kind of message her back. And then, oh God, like a week later, her grandfather died, who I had just saw at Christmas. And then I ghosted her. So I said, like, I'm sorry, we talked or whatever, like, because she told me that her grandfather wasn't doing well and he died. And so we talked for like a little bit, but then, like, after that conversation, we were done talking.
Okay.
I didn't talk to her for 4 months.
I was going to say, I swear if you say that you just hooked up with her again.
Yeah, so I'm not there yet. So.
Oh my gosh.
So then.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So.
It's not funny, but it is. Go ahead.
So Emily and I were dating for 4 months. And then Emily walked in the apartment because I had moved in with her because I wasn't talking to my mom.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. You know about this part.
Yep.
So, we decided to move in together because I didn't really have a place to stay. And so, Emily walks into the apartment one day and into the room, and she kind of sits down on the bed and says, I think we should break up. And both, like, out of the blue. Like, I kind of saw it coming that day, but before then I had no clue.
Okay.
And so she broke up with me. I packed all my shit in my car and I drove back to home. And found out a week later that she had cheated on me.
Oh.
So it was like a cheater-cheaty situation, which I deserved it. I deserved to be cheated on. It was, after all that shit that I pulled, I deserved to be cheated on. I felt like the lowest form of life. I had lost all my friends.
Sure.
I had one friend, literally one friend, because all of my friends had been from my previous relationships, and they all turned their backs on me. So, which I deserved fully, but I'm saying, like, I had no friends. I had one friend that I made outside of that relationship, Chris, love you, dude. And so I was down to my last penny, essentially. And so I texted Elizabeth 4 months after ghosting her, and I just texted her. Out of the blue, I said, where are you? Which is creepy now that I think about it, but I just go, where are you? And she goes, I'm at home. So I said, can I call? And she goes, yeah. So I call her up, and which I chose Elizabeth because we were good. We were like, she was the most understanding of everybody.
Sure.
Like, because she was the girl that wanted me to leave my current girlfriend because she was cheating on, like, she was assisting me in cheating on Erica.
Right.
So, like, but she still wanted to be with me. Like, after, like, she wanted to steal me from Erica.
Sure.
So, like, I knew she was the most understanding of anybody, and I just needed a friend. Like, Chris was busy, I had no friends, I needed someone to talk to. So I called her up, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, well, I just got home from work, I'm getting out of the shower. And I said, okay, first of all, I am so sorry for it. It's not even going to start to make up for what I did to you, but I am so sorry for everything that has happened. I have been a complete and utter idiot. Can we please just talk? I just need a friend. I don't want to date. I just need a friend.
Sure.
And so she was like, okay, like, we can talk. And I said, do you want to go for a drive? And she goes like, yeah. And so I said, okay, are you ready? And she goes, yeah, where are you? And I'm like, I'm outside. So I was parked outside her apartment.
Oh,
just hoping to God that she would answer because I had nowhere else to go.
Dang.
And so she goes, yeah, I'll be right out. So we drove around. We talked for like 5 hours. And we started just kind of talking, like, just being friends. I just needed a friend. Like, I didn't want to hook up or anything. And at this point, Erica wrote me off completely because she thought that I'd cheated on her with Emily. Emily was cheating on me, so it didn't matter. So all I had was Elizabeth.
Right.
And then like 5 months later, like 3 months later. 3 months later, this is April, May, June, July, August, 4 months. 4 months. 4 months later, we decided to give it another try, but a real try. I worked on myself a lot. I went to counseling. And so I wanted to try a real relationship with Elizabeth. And I did. And then 5 years later, we're married. So.
So to say, I remember you telling me bits and pieces of that.
Yep. So Elizabeth is Ellen. She's my wife. So we went through a lot of shit. And I love her with every bit of my heart. And we are meant to be. Like, seriously, like, just so much shit, dude. And the fact that, like, she realized, because she told me, so this was, she said, I see potential in you. You're a shitty human being right now, but you have a lot of potential. You just need to get your act together. And
fair enough.
Took me like 1.5 years to actually get my shit together, but she stood by my side and kept me honest. And she had some like rules. I mean, she had trust issues, major trust issues. That's why I tell people, like, if you think you have trust issues, just hear my story. Like, just sit down and talk to me and my wife. You don't understand trust issues until you've gone through what she's gone through. Because there are just so many different levels of trust, breaking trust right there.
Sure.
It's just, yeah, messed up. But we wouldn't be as strong as we are now without that.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, I did not know all that.
Yeah, it's deep, dude. It was a lot.
It is deep.
I don't condone it, like, by any means. Do not do that. Do the right thing. Be the man. Stand up. If you don't want to be in a relationship, break up. Don't cheat.
Just be straight up with him.
Yeah, like, a lot of reason you cheat is because you don't want to do the bad. You don't want to do the uncomfortable thing and break a girl's heart.
So let me ask you this, because just from that perspective.
Sure.
Okay. So with Erica.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before all the cheating happened, everything like that.
Yeah.
So most of the time, when it comes to a relationship, there's something that goes on that makes that person unhappy.
Right.
Whether it's the male or female. But what was it that made you start drawing attention towards someone else?
Short answer, I think the relationship had just gone stale. I think that you're going to ask me to expand. I'm going to go there. So,
well,
I think
what I mean by that is, like, how did it go stale?
That's what I mean. So I think we just both stopped trying. It may be not her. It may have just been me that stopped trying. But I had been with her my entire high school career. Like, my entire 9th through 12th grade, that was who I was with. And so it was nice to have that, but at the same time, it became more of a companionship. It wasn't like I didn't have that spark that I used to.
Sure.
And she wanted to go down a different path than I did, and she didn't really have her, like, what she wanted to do, and then she dropped out of college, and there was just so many things that, like, I was like, this isn't what, like, you wanted for you. Like, don't give up. And so I think that kind of deterred me a little bit. And then, like, we just stopped trying. Like, we didn't try to make the relationship better. We just kind of let it sit in this pool of murky water, and we just kind of drowned itself.
So if you could, man, can you just expound on that just a little bit? Expand on that. So about, like, what?
Oh, why'd it go stale? Yeah. We just both stopped trying. I think that, and it may have just been me, but I think it was just, I had just felt like there were just so many things that had gone wrong in the relationship, and it was just like, we didn't really try to put an effort into making it better. And so then and then when you don't try to make something better, it just, the problems that you have just to continue to get worse.
Oh yeah, they just pile up.
Yeah, and so I think we just started to grow apart.
Sure.
And I was growing up and trying to do different things, and it just didn't work.
I mean, and let me ask you this, because I don't know, because I've been wondering this for the longest time.
Sure.
Okay, and
About
I've never.
Me?
No,
Okay.
just in general. None of this is targeted to
You're
towards
good.
you,
You're
by
good.
any means. But I'm sure there's some of our listeners that have always been wondering, like, all right, what possesses somebody to go cheat? Now, don't get me wrong. It's like, I'm sure we all had those temptations, right? It's like, but what is it, just thinking back, like, what probably is it that, because I could tell you mine,
Sure.
but because I've had the temptation before.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, what to you was that temptation for you? Like, what is it that happened besides it going stale? There had to be something to where she didn't put forth effort and something that maybe she just didn't hit one of your love languages.
Honestly, it wasn't even her. It was a lack of respect for myself and my relationship.
So do you feel like it was more of like, it was like she was looking more towards having a long relationship where you were actually wanting to, because you've been in that relationship all through high school, right? So would you say it was more on the factor of, I actually want to go out and meet new people?
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was that at all. I think what it actually was is that, I had a different level of confidence in myself that she didn't. Like, she had confidence in me, but not in herself.
Okay.
And so I think that we weren't on the same level, which is not a problem if you don't have confidence in yourself, because we can work on that. Like, there's always something in a relationship that you can work on confidence with each other. You don't have to do it alone.
That is a big turnoff, though.
Yeah, no, lack of confidence is a huge turnoff.
Yeah.
And so that kind of nipped at me every once in a while.
Sure.
And so I started to gain confidence and she started to lose confidence. And we just started like tipping the scales. And then I just had this lack of respect for our relationship due to that. And I think when the opportunity, and I'm also you guys know this and so does Blake, I am an incredibly sexually driven person.
Sure.
I have a high libido. My sex drive is very high. And so like when the opportunity presented itself, and combined with the lack of respect for myself and the relationship, and but the level of self-confidence masking my insecurities and all that, I think it just compounded into what became me cheating on my relationship of 3 years.
So, I mean, if you don't mind me asking,
Sure.
Were you guys were having sex at the time and everything like that?
Me and my
Erica.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you feel like did she like stop giving you sex?
No.
Okay. So it just got stale on that part.
The sex didn't even get stale.
Okay.
Yeah, the relationship itself just did. Like it was not anything to do with our sex lives, the way we interacted with each other. It was all fine. I think it was just the level of what turned me off was the level of confidence.
Okay.
Because I was getting more and more confidence in myself and being able to do things and acting and modeling and kind of getting into all that, while she was just like not really succeeding in the areas that she wanted to and getting down on herself. And so like our confidence were just off, like we were just way off. And then I would try to help her and it didn't work out and stuff like that. And so it was just like, I needed to move on.
Sure.
I felt like I needed to move on. Maybe I didn't need to, but actually, no. I know I needed to, because I'm very happy with my wife and we went through a lot of shit. But was it the correct way to go about finding my wife? No. Would I take any second of it back? Absolutely not, because I think every bad choice that you make in your life, you can learn from it and make your life better because of it.
Definitely.
So, yeah, that's it. I've never told that story publicly, ever.
Proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
So I've talked about it with a few people. I haven't even talked about it with you until just now, like the long version. I've told you bits and pieces, but
yeah, you've told me kind of like the summary of it all.
Yeah, but I've never actually sat down and just went into it.
Yeah,
so
I started putting pieces together.
You're like, oh, wait a second, I remember this.
Yeah. I was like,
So yeah, that was it. Like I said, don't do it. It's stupid. Just work on your relationship, and if it doesn't work out, break up. Like there's no shame in breaking up if it's not working out. Like I'd rather somebody break up with somebody than cheat on them, because it causes more pain. It's worse to cheat on somebody than it is to just break up with them.
In all honesty, I mean, and here's the thing though, with me, I've had both.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had someone cheat on me, and then I've also had someone that said, hey, you know what, I respect you enough to where I need to tell you I'm having feelings for someone else.
Right.
It's like, it's nothing against you or anything like that. It's just, we're not
Yeah.
Whatever they want to say. It's like, but it's still going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not going to hurt ever as bad as someone cheating on you.
Yeah, sneaking behind your back, breaking your trust, cheating on you. Like, there's just so many things that go. Because then the girl is like, well, girl and guy, they're both like, well, what did I do wrong? Like,
Yeah,
and then
all the time.
You automatically go to blaming yourself when usually it's not you. It's something that's something that probably you've done, but that you both didn't work on. Everybody has. There's, like I said, and I'm going back to that point that I told you I was going to go into about. Don't immediately blame yourself. Like, it takes two to tango in cheating. So there probably was an underlying issue that was not addressed on both parties, and then it drove that person away, or it reacted negatively, and the person reacted negatively, and that kind of caused that instance.
Yeah.
But
in all honesty, though, I mean, and that's where communication comes in, because if you're not open about it, here's the thing. I don't believe you can ever have a real relationship until your partner sees all of your flaws.
Oh, no, absolutely. I agree.
So it's like, and what's funny is I actually, so I had a quote unquote experiment phase because I was starting to learn a lot more about relationships. So I instantly went into the mode of, all right, you know what? I'm just going to be straight out. Whatever I think is what I'm going to say.
Right.
It's like, whether it hurts them or not,
You're just going to be honest.
I'm just going to say it. It's like, I'm going to be myself completely. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
Right.
And I did that for a few dates. Not one of them worked out. However, it was probably the best ever.
Yeah.
Really. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, obviously it sucks when something doesn't work out. Mm-hmm. However, it was great because one thing's for sure is, like, right away that they're not the person for you.
Yeah.
If they cannot accept your flaws and you can't accept theirs,
not going to work out.
Oh,
yeah. Communication is key by far. Communication is communication and trust is the foundation of every relationship. Communication is very, 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 very important. And I'll actually say something that I haven't told a lot of people. So when my wife and I were just dating and trying to figure out this level of trust, which my wife still had trust issues with me a year and a half into our relationship. So, like, our official relationship.
Sure.
So, because we got together in August. So a year and a half from then, we still had trust issues. And so she basically sat down with me one day, probably like 6 months into our relationship. And she just said, you know what? Like, I'm having issues. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she just says, I'm having issues with you being around women. Straight up. Like, and that is the most responsible thing I've ever seen a woman do, is come to you and tell you what the problem is. Like, a lot of women don't do that. A lot of women, like, try to figure it out themselves and not talk about it with their partner. Women out there watching this, if you have an issue, if there's something that is on your mind, talk to your partner about it. Be upfront with them and be honest with them. Don't let them figure it out when it's too late.
Men need to do
the same thing. But in my case, yeah. So she came to me and she was like, I'm having a problem with you being around other women. I'm worried that you're going to be tempted and you're going to cheat on me. Like, straight out, came out to me, told me that exactly. And I was like, whoa. Okay, let's unbox this real quick. I get it. I understand. What can we do to make sure that, this isn't an issue? And so we thought about it. And so she basically said to me, if you ever feel tempted, just call me. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, if you ever have an instance where you feel like you're going to mess up, just call me. And I'm like, okay, well, what is that going to, I'm not going to cheat on you, but what is that going to do? And she's like, just call me. And if it's purely lust or whatever, then we'll take it from there. Basically saying, like, we may have to have a situation where you just handle it and I don't know about it. Or I just don't know, air quotes, I don't know about it. Never happened. We never had to instill that, but that level of communication there enabled her to get over her trust issues with me being around other women.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
and every couple's different.
Every couple's different. I'm not saying this tactical work. I'm just saying that, like, communication, and don't cheat. Just figure it out. Break up, do whatever you need to do, but do not cheat.
Cheating is not cool.
Cheating is not cool. Cheating is the worst thing you can do. I did it a lot of times in a very short spurt, and trust me, you feel like shit. It makes everybody else feel like shit, and
yep.
And it makes him feel like shit because he got cheated on, and no one wins in the scenario.
Definitely
no one.
not. Definitely not.
with that being said, that's all for this episode of Potty Mouth, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or you can watch it here on YouTube. If you're watching it here on YouTube, make sure to like this video so we can keep bringing you fun, silly, somewhat depressing content like this. With that being said, guys, we love y'all, and we will see you next time on the Potty Cast.